수가 없네. 아이씨. 이런 씨. 운동 그리고 세냐. 응? 아따. 아휴. 지겨워.
아, 열심히 달렸네 또.
여기 갔다 왔어? 여기? 사람 없어?
여기 아니요, 저 클럽하우스 갔는데요.
나도 갔다 와서 그럼 왔어.
아, 근데 이렇게 뛰면 숨찬데.
그러니까 이거 어떻게 이렇게 놨어? 참, 아유. 아유, 참 이런 거 보면 정말 멀었어 아직. 이런 걸 딱 준비해야 돼. 거기다 일반인들 막 다 파니까. 응?
개인 최다 홀인원 방금 막 찾았는데 양수진이 5번이나 했네요.
그러니까.
김리안이 4번.
그 미안이. 크리스 에펜시도 한번 했어. 또 그런 애들 있다니까.
그러네요.
박사리도 한 번밖에 못 했대.
예, 진짜.
막 들어들 있어. 나는 3번.
진짜요?
미국 한 번, 필리핀 한 번, 한국 한 번. 네.
한 번은 저는 그런 건 바라지도 않아.
네.
일단 버디라도 버디 하나 하는 게 꿈이에요. 버디 하는 게 꿈이에요, 저는.
언제 들어가나? 금방 들어가?
네, 이거 지금
금방 들어가?
광고는 끝났고 이런 거만 나오고. 또 광고 나오네? 네, 하는 것 같아요. 해외 거는 이렇게 시작. 올해로 10주년을 맞이한 이원 채리티 오픈 1라운드 계속해서 이어드리겠습니다. 이 대회 2013년에 시작해서 올해로 10회를 맞이하게 됐고요. 그동안 한 번도 이 대회에 2번 우승한 선수가 없었죠. 계속해서 새로운 챔피언을 탄생시켰습니다. 대단한 기록이 많았는데 그 가운데 조윤지
그렇죠.
선수
연속 8번인데
네.
마지막 파5홀에서도 충분히 버디 있었는데 그걸 마지막 파4에서 못했어요.
네. 그리고 최고 시청률을 기록한 경기도 있었고, 그리고 지난해는 1, 2, 3라운드 전 라운드 홀인원이 나왔습니다.
그렇죠.
네, 자, 많은 스토리가 있었던 대회죠. 이번 채리티 오픈이 이렇게 올해 10회를 맞게 됐고요. 자, 올해는 또 어떤 스토리가 펼쳐지게 될지 많이 기대해 주시기 바랍니다. 김재열 해설위원도 10년을 이 대회 중계를 하셨으니 지금
그렇습니다.
좀 옛 기억들이 스쳐
그렇죠.
지나갔을 것 같네요.
1회 대회부터 중계를 하다 보니까
네.
뭐옛 기억이 지금 스쳐가네요.
네, 이미정 선수 9번 홀 버디 퍼트입니다. 자, 이번에는 네, 조금 조심스러웠고요. 전반 마지막 홀 파로 마무리하면서 이미점 그대로 2분파입니다. 오늘 가장 어려운 홀인 9번 홀인데요. 장하나 선수와 조아연 모두 페어웨이를 잘 지켰고 이채은 선수가 왼쪽 러프에 있습니다. 좁은 페어웨이인데 잘 보냈죠.
일단 티샷 할 때는 저 떨어지는 지점이 보이지가 않습니다.
오늘 그린 적중률 88%의 조아연 선수.
오, 좋은데요.
네,
네.
굿샷.
굉장히 좋은 위치예요. 네, 오르막 퍼스를 남게 되고요.
네, 9번 홀에서 그렇게 버디가 지금 잘 나오지 않고 있는데 조아연 선수가 기회를 만들었습니다. 이채은 선수는 러프고요. 여기서는 120m.
이채영 선수가 지금 있는 위치는 예전에 저기에 펀드가 있었어요. 물이 있었는데
아.
이걸 메웠거든요.
네.
러프고 홀의 위치는 약간 앞쪽 아닙니까? 그린 앞쪽. 그러니까 세우기 그린에 떨어지면 세우기 굉장히 힘든 그런 위치예요.
두 번째 샷.
좀 짧았죠. 네.
이 조는 3명의 선수 모두 공 색깔이 다르네요.
그러네요. 이제는 뭐 예전에는 공의 색깔이 하얀색 하나밖에 없었지 않습니까?
네.
이제는 뭐 다양해졌어요. 공의 색도 그렇고 또 선수들의 복장 또한 정말 많이 달라지지 않았습니까?
네. 장하나 선수는 107m.
이러면은 네, 내리막이 굉장히 심한 왼쪽이에요. 네.
이소영 11번 홀 버디 펫. 들어갑니다.
나이스 펫.
자, 드디어 이소영 선수 잃었던 타수 다 만회했고요. 2분파가 됐습니다. LF 헤지스 포인트 다시 한번 살펴보겠습니다. 유혜란 선수가 초반 계속해서 선두 자리 위치해 있고요. 이혜원 선수가 2위로 뛰어 올랐습니다. 박민지 선수가 3위, 박지영 4위, 이가영, 지한솔, 이소미, 조아연 선수까지 8위 안에 올라 있습니다. 이번에는 이채연 선수의 어프로치 샷을 보시죠.
오,
와,
들어가나요?
이채은!
들어간다. 와, 야,
아,
정말 잘했어요.
잘하네요. 이채은 선수보다 저희가 더 아쉬워하는 것 같은데 8호 전반 마지막 홀 마무리했습니다. 최민경은 11번 홀 세 번째 샷. 오, 네. 장하나 선수 까다로운
까다롭죠.
퍼팅이죠.
네, 내리막이 아주 심합니다. 왼쪽이 살짝 높아요. 왼쪽 끝 정도예요. 많이 휘진 않아요. 너무 조심스러웠죠.
그래도 8호 마무리했고요. 2분 8호 전반 홀을 끝냅니다. 마다솜 11번 홀 세 번째 샷 52m 남아 있습니다. 짧은 거리 남아 있죠.
나이스 샷.
홀
네,
쪽으로
나이스 샷.
좋습니다.
그린의 경사를 완벽하게 이용했어요.
조아연은 버디 펫. 아하, 9번 홀 버디로 마무리 하나 했는데
굉장히 좋은 위치였거든요.
네.
버디가 굉장히 좋은 위치인데.
파펫. 이 9번 홀 지한솔 선수도는 유일하게 보기를 기록한 홀이고 조윤지 선수가 연속 버디 행진할 때도 이 홀에서 깨졌죠.
그렇죠. 마지막 홀에서. 그것도 아주 좋은 기회였어요. 오르막 1.5m 버디 펫이었는데
아, 네.
정말 쉬운 펫인데 아마 그런 압박감이 그 홀에서 온 것 같아요.
9번 홀 쉽지 않습니다. 자, 이미정 선수 10번 홀.
나이스 샷.
네. 아, 저렇게 호응해 주시면은 정말 힘이 날 것 같습니다.
그렇죠. 뭐 2년 동안 선수들이 정말 저런 응원 없이 경기를 하지 않았습니까?
자, 파4 10번 홀 살펴보시죠.
네, 10번으로 346m 파4 홀입니다. 지금 왼쪽에 있는 벙커가 넘어가는 거리가 200m, 뭐 충분히 넘어갑니다. 내리막 10m가 있고요. 그러나 그 벙커를 넘어가면은 또 내리막 경사를 타고 많이 공이 굴러가는데요. 많은 선수들이 보면은 100m 안쪽에서 홀을 공략하게 되는데요. 그린은 세로, 중앙을 중심으로 세로로 왼쪽이 높고 오른쪽이 낮은 그린입니다. 오늘의 홀의 위치는 왼쪽 2단 그린 약간 오른쪽 중앙에 홀이 놓여 있거든요. 그렇다 보니까 가장 좋은 위치는 홀의 앞쪽이 되겠습니다. 거의 대부분의 선수들은 왼쪽에 있는 벙커를 넘기게 됩니다.
네.
공이 떨어지는 랜딩 지점은 보이지 않습니다. 언덕을 넘어가게 되면은.
조아연 선수의 티샷.
네,
경사 타고
다 하고
네.
내려오죠.
페어웨이로 잘 왔고요.
사실 이 홀은 뭐 작년도에 세 번째로 쉽게 플레이된 홀이에요.
네.
그렇기 때문에 선수들에게는 편안하게 파를 할 수 있는 버디도 할 수 있는 홀이 오늘의 홀의 위치도 그렇게 어렵지 않습니다.
네. 올해 이 대회 10주년을 맞아서 1번 홀에서 출발했을 때 이 10번째 홀에서 이글 기록하면 1,000만 원 최초
그렇죠.
기록자에게 주는데
네.
그러면 일단 티샷 잘 보내야겠네요.
그렇죠. 지금 이 선수들에게는 그런 기회가 있는 겁니다.
네.
샷 이글이 나오면 됩니다.
네.
네, 지금 장하나 선수는 드라이버를 잡지 않았어요. 그리고도
그래도
멀리 가네요. 네.
네. 여유 있게 넘어왔고요. 마지막 이채은 선수. 좋습니다.
오. 자, 보시면 지금 왼쪽 어깨 틈이 좋고 코킹이 굉장히 빨랐죠. 양손이 머리보다 약간 뒤쪽에 놓여 있어요. 그러나 어깨 턴은 완벽합니다. 등 쪽이 지금 타겟을 보고 있고 뒤쪽에서 보면은 약간 탑스윙이 낮기 때문에 양팔의 삼각형이 하나 딱 보이지 않습니까? 삼각형 공간이 굉장히 넓어요. 임팩이 되는 순간에 보면 힙은 먼저 돌아가 있고 머리는 공 뒤쪽에 남고 오른쪽 팔은 가슴에 붙어 있고 왼팔은 펴 있는 상황이거든요. 여기서 이제 피니시가 올라가는데 이채원 선수 스윙 부분은 피니시를 약간 좀 생략하면서 피니시를 하는 경우가 많아요. 지금도 완전히 지금 돌아간 게 아니거든요. 그러니까 약간 펀치성의 드라이버예요. 드라이브 샷을 구사했어요.
최민경 선수 11번 홀 버디 퍼트입니다. 떨어집니다. 이 버디로 최민경 이븐파가 됐습니다. 연속 버디 후반 좋은 흐름으로 출발하고 있고요.
일단 뭐 전반 9 마운틴 코스보다는 후반 9 레이 코스가 좀 편하게 선수들에게 경기를 할 수 있게 만들어져 있어요. 그러나 바람은 좀 많이 불습니다.
이번에는 마다솜의 버디 펫. 네, 짧은 거리 놓치지 않았고요. 언더파 스코어가 됐습니다. 자, 이렇게 후반 홀의 선수들이 더 기회 홀이 많기 때문에 마지막 날 정말 끝까지 알 수가 없겠네요.
아, 그렇죠.
네.
네. 자, 10번 홀이죠. 네. 약간의 오르막이에요. 오르막.
버디 펫.
이미정 선수가 오늘 뭐 샷감은 굉장히 좋은데 그 그린 위에서가 퍼트가 약간 좀 떨어지네요. 네. 그러니까 스트로크에 문제가 없는데 이
네.
경사를
아하.
잃는 게 조금 약간 좀 부족한 것 같아요. 근데 그린에 적응이 완전히 안 됐다는 거죠.
네. 두 번째 샷 준비하고 있는 선수들인데요.
지금 홀의 위치가 약간 위쪽에 약간 솟아나온 곳에 있거든요. 그렇기 때문에 어느 위치 오른쪽 단으로만 내려가지 않는 한 어느 위치에 올라가더라도 다 오르막 퍼시예요. 홀까지는. 그러니까 선수들에게는 굉장히 버디할 수 있는 기회가 있는 홀의 위치입니다.
네. 조하연 선수의 두 번째 샷입니다.
No stopping that ball. Just 4 meters underneath where the ball sat right now. 89 meters out for Chanana. Well, no risk of being long as she comes to the upslope at the front of the green. She will be putting. Well, as she gets her first read and first analysis of that putt, she knows it's going to be a rather tricky one. So somewhere in between the two, in terms of where her group mates are, would be ideal for EJM2. 85 meters out. She can get her backspin. She's going to be sitting up nicely. Incredible approach, and she will be very optimistic about her chance at birdie from there. reads the wind brilliantly. Gets on its backspin. Slows up immediately. I'm Genie at 11. No complaints with that. Good bit of wedge play as well. A hair inside of 7 meters, the average putt distance from this yardage back of the pin. Kim Soo-ji, her third at the par 5. It's going to get that kick back towards the right side as well, and starting back down the slope. Two back-to-back brilliant strokes at 11. Another look at the leaderboard. Chien Sol continues to lead. An opening round of 66, only 2 strokes back off the pace from her. Kim Yan. Those are the top 2 here at South Springs. Take a quick break and come back with more opening round action of the 10th E1 Charity Open. Well, back out to the course we go. China, now we knew this was going to be a tricky birdie putt with both the line and the topographical nature of where she was starting that putt from, and she misses to the left side of the pin and carries a bit more weight with it as well, though there was always going to be that risk with how much she needed to get up the hill. Azim Genie. She too missed to the inside. So a short tap in. We'll keep her at 1 over through 11. And returning to the 10th, Choi Yun will be the first of the 3 to play. She has the most distance to make up yet. You can see the wind starting to pick up as well, certainly at the back of Choi Yun. Needs this to save par if she wants to stay at 2 under. Just runs out of speed at the very end. Piece of the ball almost hovering over top of the cup, so it is going to be a drop stroker first of the day. Tricky start to her back 9. Now Kim Soo-ji a little left to right. Didn't start it enough to the inside. It'll be a disappointing miss. We'll keep her where she was when she teed off about 6 minutes ago. At 1 under, she makes the walk over to 12. Now Ichan 2. And the tough greens continue from in close. She loops around the cup and stays to the outside right. After a near perfect approach shot, she will leave empty-handed here at number 11. China really taking her time with this one. Just far enough away to be a little bit nervy for par putt, just to avoid dropping to an over par score. Nice finish. Keeps her in the group of players at even par and a tie for 44th. Ironically here, at 11, being a bit further back, a bit more distance, tends to keep you at a much closer putting distance, and regardless, she absolutely executes to perfection on that approach, curling back down the hill, looking down at a birdie. Now Amy Jung from just off the fairway to the left side. 74 meters out. Unable to get it to head down the valley towards the pin, and in fact she's all the way to the front. It's going to bump off onto the fringe.
Well, Chanana away from the tee blocks and down into the fairway. Cho Ayan will be next with driver. Right down the middle of the fairway. And away he goes down the cart path. One of our featured groups on the day. Back with Amy Jung, playing off the fringe with her fourth. Gets it started real well. No, she couldn't mark it to line it up. She had to really trust her line there, and that's a pretty good effort. It's 87 meters remaining for Kim Soo-ji. Couldn't ask for much better than that. And back to the 11th green. Cheng Soo-yeon for birdie to get one step closer back to even. It's a tough start to her Friday. And the difficulties continue. She was well outside on that effort. Last time we saw a putt from this range, it stayed a little bit more true than the left to right we needed. In this case, Amy Jung starts enough to the inside of the cup, and this time gets her birdie. Now to the back of the 12th green. Needing to start this significantly to the right. It's an 18-meter putt. You can see how quickly that snaps back to the left. Considering how far down and up onto the crest Jung Yoon-ji needed to get, that is a pretty good putt. On the fairway wood in hand for Jo Ayeon. She's still 278 meters away. 46 meters per second the ball speed off the face of the club. And Chanana from 276 more left of the fairway and also staying left. be set up pretty well for her third shot. Kim Soo-ji, her bid for birdie. Starting that almost a meter to the right of the cup. Little tap to get it started. Does she have her line right? Yes, she does. Celebrating that one before it even dropped. She knew she had that lined up perfectly. It's her fourth birdie of the day. Definitely a test of her skill. She passes with flying colors. Slightly different route EJ2 is taking. Trying to equal or best her runner-up finish from the second event of the season back at the Medihilhan Google Championship. Also with a 5th place finish last week at the Doosan Match Play Championship. My word, look at this. It's coming a smidge shy at the end, but near eagle. Definitely will be able to enjoy the benefits of a short birdie putt. Imjini would appreciate being that close for birdie. This is her effort from 3.5 meters away. Carrying a bit too much speed up the hill towards target, so it'll be at best a par. So she will be staying at 1 over for at least one more hole. Number 13 will be next. Now Choyan at 11 from the left side of the fairway. Able to carry it up. We'll roll back and still continue to move slightly back towards the front left, so not quite on the mark that time. Well, even looking over Chanana's shoulders down towards the green, you can see how much of a descent there is at the front part of the green. That's what caught Mi Jung the last time, so being a bit longer here at 11 is the safer play. It's 73 meters. Would have liked that to roll a bit more, but that'll sit up, pretty nicely for Chanana. EJ2 straight look down at the pin. Wind calming down a little bit at the moment. If anything, would have been a slight tailwind, and another nice shot. That's almost 4 in a row now for EJ2, with the exception of the unfortunate short birdie miss. Jung Yoon-ji from the back of the 12th green in line for par, glances that outside edge, but doesn't have enough to get it to fall, so it's going to be bogey. It's her first of the day, and a bit of a blip on an otherwise stellar run of form the past couple of holes. We'll go to the par 3 now. .143 meters. That is the in a tie for the shortest hole on course, the exact same yardage as number 8. And a front right pin location today, just like that, and in this particular environment here at 14, the tailwind will not help you very much, especially with how close you got to keep that to the front. But she's on and within 5 meters or so. Amy Jung still stuck at even par, 111 meters out. Avoids the fringe and will have a uphill putt to come next. Well, 69, a very popular score on the day. Isungani, Sumi, Yudahyun, and Kang Yirin all up in that mark alongside Nosungi. The names continue, a dozen players in with a 69 this opening round. A beautiful day out at South Springs. The break and back to the action momentarily here on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Joyanne will be looking at a downhill putt for birdie. Needs to get left. The degree of difficulty increases exponentially from that side of the putting surface on the day. She'll come away without a birdie once again. Can't say the same. Just a couple of holes further up for Chun Yi-sung. Now 2 in the past 3 holes for her. Gathering some serious forward momentum on her way in. Now another downhill look. So aiming towards the middle of your screen before it starts working its way back out right. Really good try from Shanana. Keeps her at even, 6 back. Now to 14, another look at birdie on this par 3. Lee So-young just to the outside. Mucks around the cup, and it is a par she'll have to settle with. Birdie would have taken her out of the sea of the letter E and up into a tie for 26, that 1 under. Would be unfair to call her effort at 10 a gimme that she missed, but definitely a tougher look at birdie. But it's a look at birdie nevertheless, and this time Chen 2 makes it count. 3 on the day, her first since the 6th hole. Now, Imi Jung, it is a mostly straight putt, but she does have to get up the hill. Start a little bit wider and to the outside right than perhaps she was accounting for, but knew she needed to give it a good whack. Well, after the season she put together last year, one of the fan favorites, and up to a podium finish last week for Imi Jung, despite missing the cut at the NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship, withdrawing from the 44th KLPGA Championship after an opening round 76, and then starting the season with a P9. Trying to get back to form. Full 100% health as well, and she is definitely on the right track. Well, it's 9-iron off the tee, bouncing through the fairway and right onto the path for a short birdie finish. Nice swing at number 14 for Chun Yi-sung. A look at the 12th. In terms of yardage, 342 meters, 374 yards this par 4. Mountains looming large in the background. All kinds of hazards on this 12th hole. 3 little bunkers to the left of the fairway, 2 wider ones. The water, the trees as well on the right side, and then 3 more bunkers to contend with on the way down towards the green. Pin location today pretty much in the middle, slightly to the left if any, and 16 yards from the front edge of the green. with how far downhill this is at number 12, you can perhaps afford to take a little bit less distance off with driver. To the left side of the fairway and into the rough, not getting the kick back out to the fairway. To 13. Well, that was lined down towards the fairway. Problem was it was left, and I think that brings the bunker into play. And if not in the sand, certainly the thick cut of rough that surrounds it. China, it's also a miss to the left and high up on the hill above the fairway even as well. It leaves the fairway wide open for Choyan. The safest of the bunch. Down into the fairway. I think ideally if she could have her dream lie, she'd be a little bit more to the left than that. But all in, she will be just content to be in the fairway after the tee shot she just watched take place. Really good opportunity to get to 2 under here at 14. Has the line, has the weight, and has a great 14th hole. Up to 2 under par. Chanye Sung will tee off at 15th, only 4 strokes back of the defending champion at top of the leaderboard. Slight uphill, a little left to right, no problem. And a birdie secured. He races the 5 she shot at the last. Puts the bogey in the rearview mirror. Kim Soo-ji, a short par save. Keeps her at 2 under with 5 to play. As you'll be able to tell, there's been a bit of movement in the LFASI point standings after the Doosan match play. Though it is still a pretty comfortable lead at the top for Yuhei Ran. EA1 making a big move up into second, up 3 spots. Park Ji-young and Lee Ga-young dropping a pair of positions respectively down to 4th and 5th. Chun Ye-sung and Choi An also big movers up 2 positions each to 8th and 10th. And it did find the sand. Tee shot from Imi Jung, and you can see the wind pushing that ball to the right. That's a decent out from the beach. back to 12. On from the fairway. The down-sloping green, so she would have wanted to be a bit higher, though she's mostly pin high. Want to chip that to the left and let the hill do some of the work for her, but that's going to be a bit tricky with a wide-open green from the fairway. Speaking of tricky, uncomfortable stance to say the least for each AM2. Well, she's chasing it, watching it work its way down. Comes to rest above the pin. Be about 9 meters on her way back down for birdie. Into the top of the hill we go to find Chanana for her second. This ball significantly below her feet, almost 100 meters exactly back. Definitely wanting to club up here. Gets herself onto the green. All things considered, not the worst end result, but as she just gestured, yes, it got to come up. Back to 14. Genie looked like a 9-iron as well, and not enough club. Finds herself in some trouble into the sand. Joanne, a little chip at 12. Again, she'll be wanting to be a little bit to the inside bottom, get it started. Comes that close. The reaction from the patron says it all. Good bit of weight. Flag comes out. Short tap in par. That as well. Nice gesture of this E1 Charity Open. Free admission. Voluntary donations for all, and all the money raised will be used for welfare facilities for the disabled in support of promising golf players. So a tournament for good. Nothing you can not like about this event, especially with how much of a test it will be for the best in the business. Of course, playing a bit trickier than it did when we had the first groups go out. This is a massive field, by the way. 143 players in contention this weekend. Jian So was in group 24 when she teed off at 8:45 this morning. And as we're seeing, it's underscoring just how good of a round it was for her to get to 6 under. Nice uphill effort from Chanana. Well, considering some of her misadventures off the tee, she'll know that it could have been a lot worse than par. Still yet to really get into gear, though. To 17. Our first look at this hole on the day. So even 2. This is more than promising. This has a real shot at it. Centimeters away from an ace. Casual hands on her hips. No big deal. Almost sold out from the tee blocks, but just another day at the office. 90 chain 2 for birdie. A little bit too much pace. It had the line just slightly overhit as it worked its way back to the left. Now all of a sudden a par save. Just a short effort though. Connects on it. And speaking of putts to save par, here's Amy Jung. Kicks out from the outside edge. That will be a drop. Now bogeys at 2, 7, and 13. Takes her back above par. Chanye Song at 15. Drops that in from the slope to the right of the pin. Flattens out, and that'll be a pretty good look at birdie. Can't use that description for what is facing Imjini here from the sand at 14. That was always going to be a tricky one, trying to muscle it out right up against the slope, keeping that bunker in the trouble zone with how close it is to the green as well and where the pin placement is on the day. So she will be now needing to save par with wedge. Not ideal. Chian So, 6 under continues to be the score to beat. J.A. Reem, a 2 under round of 70, and Icheon 2 keeping herself in the mixer towards the bottom of the second page of the leaderboard here at South Springs. Well, here is the lay of the land at 13. All three players finding the fairway. No easy shots, though, despite that, and the wind certainly not helping at the moment. Joanne will be first to play. She's going to get the kick down towards the pin. It's going to keep a little bit more momentum to go past, but all in, that is pretty good yardage to go as she looks for birdie. 24 degrees and sunny skies here above this Jim Fazio designed golf course. One of the best in the entire nation. The wind at the moment, 3 meters per second. The gusts, though, are what are causing some troubles. Up and towards 32 kilometers an hour. Pitching wedge with the wind, meaning you need a little bit less club here. She could have even clubbed down some more. She'll roll all the way to the back. Well, the easiest birdie putt of the day, I dare say. Little tap in at the par 3. As now 3 birdies in what would normally be the back 9, having started on the front. So off to a fantastic start there. The approaches flying in from across the course of the utmost quality, whether it's from the fairway or from the tee like we just saw. If you can avoid the sand here at 14, it can be pretty conducive to some low scores. As we saw about 15 minutes ago from Eugenie, unfortunate that. Jung. She's going to get a great kick and bumps off her group mate's ball, but that also means that she too is within 3 meters of the target. Don't think there will be any complaints about the bumper ball action on the 14th green. Those two will just be elated. 2 good looks at birdie. Imi Jung certainly could use it. Has been on the precipice for the past hour. To 15. Chanye Sung to get to 3 under par. Does it have enough speed? No. Comes up just short and just left. Three holes to play. I would have got her within 3 as well if she had one final big push. Might have been able to get within reach. Chancel. Now back up the hill for Ichan 2. And it's in! Well, we were relying on the patrons for that, as the umbrella had covered it, but my goodness, what a birdie putt that is. It's been a faultless day. And 4 birdies now. That one probably her toughest. Definitely the longest. Shananad still at even, thinking to herself, I'll take one of those, please. Here's her effort over the ridge, and it needed to go left, and instead it's pushed out right. Will be par at 13. chance to go low. She has 2 par 3s coming up in her next 4 holes. Will certainly be needing to take advantage of one, if not both of those. About a meter and a half starting to the left, just a little tap to get it on line, and she gave herself more room than she needed, Amy Jung. Still looking up at all the players at even at the moment. 41 players at the moment are under par. 64 are carding at least even. Now Choyan, similar in that it's a miss to the inside. She'll stay in a tie for 32nd with that par. First of 2, nearly identical looks at birdie. And the line figured out like a maestro on Soyeon. It's been a difficult day. She needed a hole like that. Double at the 12th and a handful of bogeys as well. Her first birdie of the round. She had to work for it too. Jung Yoon Ji, 127 meters out. And she puts 128 meters on that approach. Hands off the club, a little nod to her caddy. Here is number 14. The 3rd par 3 of the round, the first of 2 on the back 9. The water, the curtain all the way down the right side of the fairway, in behind the sand as well. Mostly flat from the tee blocks down to the putting surface, and it's a right to left sloping green. We've seen plenty of groups come through here the past 20-25 minutes, and they've shown you that you are very front and right on this green today, 7 and 6 yards respectively. Now EJ2, can she find another birdie here? She has been scorching hot in her form, and she's going to get the kick and roll down onto the green. She has 5 holes and only 2 shots to make up to draw at least level with Chian Sol top the leaderboard. I love the design philosophy of this course here at South Springs. And Fazio had said, I want a course that is easy for amateurs and difficult for the pros. Difficult, and if you want to go low, you need to be on the very top of your game. More on the design, Fazio had said, it's a course that's good looking, challenging, and each hole has its own unique characteristics from an amateur's point of view. Chanana's effort off the tee. And it's a course that is lauded for its design, the way it plays. Back in 2020 and 2021, Golf Magazine Korea listed it in the top 10. Golf Digest last season had it on its best courses list. Choyan hit his pitching wedge. And she's going to get the roll right on through. That'll be a bit of a swooping right to left from her vantage point, and needs to put the umbrella away unless she has a pair of roller skates or something, in which case it could blow her all the way to the green. Some good tee shots once again at 14. Apex 20 meters, the top of the ball flight, and it drops down to the left side of the fairway. Slightly downhill from the tee blocks into the fairway, and she will be shooting up onto the green next. Well, finally a new entrant to the front page of the leaderboard, EJN2, after that remarkable long distance birdie putt, and she wasn't done there. She could very easily see herself at the top, level with Jihan Seoul or besting her in the home stretch here. The opening round of 3 at the 10th E1 Charity Open. Well, we'll rejoin our featured group on 14 Chanana, having come just shy of the green. A little chip onto the right path. Started back towards the cup and will sit up for a short par effort. And over to 15 for a moment as we look at the effort for birdie and the converted birdie. Jung Yoon Ji, now 3 back of the leader with 3 to play. Just on from the right side. Chan 2 looking for birdie again, this time to get to 5 under. It started with pace, a little bit too much of it as it was headed left, making contact with the outside of the cup. Keeps some of that pace off so she doesn't roll too far beyond, but she'll be settling for par if she can convert on it there. To 16, and in the cut of rough separating the fairways. Short yardage scenario, only 65 meters, and it goes back down and will be about a 3-meter uphill putt. Well, the last chance for birdie at 14 belongs to Choi Yun. From our perspective, needs to be a little bit left to start. Not quite left enough. Comes back and rolls through the inside edge, and it's a tap-in par for Choi Yun. Unable to improve on her score of 1 under. It's 140 meters out, needing to get 5 meters up the hill. Cuts it to the fringe in between the bunker and the green. We'll have a nice little roll onto the line for Amy Jung as she will have another go at getting back to even. Amy Chen 2 now for par. With her race for the top, she can ill afford to drop a stroke. She comes away with her par. On to the 15th next. And par as well for Chanana. .134 meters on 15 from the fairway. Wang Suyan, that's gonna a bit of a carom to the left, but in terms of where she'd want to be, that's probably as close to that target without actually being in the cut. That's a nice approach. Chun Yu-sung. Uphill, left to right. Look at birdie, it moved to right too quickly. Didn't give herself enough leeway on the line, and it will be par. And number 15, the 6th of the mountain course. Fairway to the left disguised, hidden by the trees. Ideally, you're using as much width of the tee blocks starting right and trying to work that out into the fairway. 245 meters from the tee, you find the fairway bunker, another off to the right of it. And then 2 sand traps guarding each edge of the green with the pin placement today. "12 yards off the front, 10 yards from the left. Better to be a little bit cautious here. Take an extra club on the approach, get up over the sand, keep that away, and then it down slopes anyways back. You don't want to be too far to the back of the green, which really isn't much of a concern with the front pin placement today, but it does drop off pretty substantially towards the back. Jana now finds the center of the fairway off the tee. Glance down the viewfinder to see where she will be lying. Joanna's gonna wait an extra beat for this gust to simmer down a little bit. Trying to find her first birdie since the 8th hole. She's able to get 2 on the front 9 at the 2nd and 8th. And then she had her bogey at number 10, which dropped her back down to this 1 under score that she has not been able to evade for the past 4 holes. Pretty windy day up top for our camera operator as well. The trees weren't enough of an indication, and the horizon weaving and bobbling is another good one. Well, Joanne still in 8th. The LF has these point standings, up 2 spots from number 10 the end of last week on 1,145 points. While we wait for a featured group to arrive on the fairway, let's go down to the island green on 17. Our vantage point from the safety in behind, looking up at the tee blocks. 159 meters from tee to pin. That's going to be a great bounce from the left side of the green, kicking it back on line and about 20 centimeters shy of an ace. Fortuitous bounce, and Jenny Song will be thinking birdie should be hers to be had on the penultimate hole. Six iron from 130 meters out for Chan 2. Has just enough to get onto the front of the green, but no more than that. been a tremendous day for the 22-year-old. 6th on the point standings, just outside of the top 5, currently on 133. Trailing Cho Ayun by just 4 points, and 8th on the money list with 180,600,001 collected on the season. And the aforementioned Cho Ayun with a remarkable approach of her own, willing to offer up a smile, even knowing that this could be her return to birdie hole with a great approach like that. Also dropping in nicely from Chanana, who has had 6 consecutive pars since her birdie at the 8th. It was a tough stretch midway through her front 9 where she bogeyed the 3rd and the 4th. Also was able to collect birdie on the first hole. Still down in a tie for 42nd at even par. 6-pack of Chi Han Sol, our leader. Kim Yan, Hung Ji-won also in a very promising start to their tournaments, just a couple of strokes shy of the top. This is the E1 Charity Open live from South Springs Country Club on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Well, it's going to take quite the hit from outside of 10 meters to find birdie here for EJN2. She almost defied the 8% probability odds to get another one, but she does come up just short. Still plenty of holes in terms of what she needs to do to get to the top, though it is starting to dwindle slightly. Nearly reached 5 p.m. local time in Chunchi. Imi Jung immediately met with commendations for that approach. Excuse me, that shot to set up the approach from the right side of the fairway towards the left. We'll see exactly what the lie is in a few minutes. Meanwhile, on 15 again, Chanana for birdie. A little late movement, but a mostly flat look at getting under. Just misses it. Broke away to the left at the last moment and a little bit defeated, the body language right now. Not making poor shots necessarily. She just has been asking a lot out of that putter on the day. Here's Matas Solm trying to get to 3 under par. 122 rookie points back of EA1, but today she has been exquisite. Right in the hunt. Cho Ayun, who was recently passed by EA1 in the points by 22 now. So week in and week out, she has been tremendous on tour. Some bewilderment on not seeing that one fall to the bottom of the cup as she goes off the right edge and stays out, so she will be settling for par. Chanye Song, now 4 birdies on the back 9, 5 on the day. She is within 3 heading to the last with that additional circle on the scorecard. And yes, there are the updated standings. Yuhei Ran continues to lead both the points and the money, with Pak Ji-young not far behind in both categories. And EA1, who remarkably has 777 rookie points and is 4th overall as a rookie. Fantastic start to her first season on the LPGA Tour of Korea. One final par 5 for the day, and the longest hole on the course at 504 meters. EJ2 pretty much all the way to the end of that first fairway. Nicely done off the tee. EA1, she is in a tie for 16th after 18 holes, having started the day on the 10th tee. .231 meters on average after these tee shots. It's another good drive. Plays a bit of leapfrog and finds the narrows, and so with some of the parts of her game where she wished were a little bit more dialed in, I don't think she could do much to improve the driver. Averaging 250 yards off the tee this season. 70.6% her fairways in regulation, Chanana.
shot.
76.3 also for Joanne, and another nice drive into the fairway. Jung, a little pitch up onto the green. Skirts down the right edge and has about a 5-meter putt separating her and that elusive birdie. Back over to 17. Seen a fair few number of birdies here on the day, including Jian Sol. Although no one has been able to make this particular stretch on the way in look as easy. Okay, June, who had teed off on 10, but she went birdie, 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 16, 17, and 18. That would be enough for a couple of our competitors to reach Jian Sol's mark. Unbelievable bit of skill that time on the way down and rolling so tantalizingly close to an ace. You can't ask for much more, just 7 centimeters away. Amy Jung putting for birdie now. Yeah, this one has a tendency to want to stay left, and it does again here for Amy Jung. Seen that a couple of times on 16. Just 2 more holes to try and get back to even. With the size of the fields, 1 under won't be a very comfortable score. It's going to demand some serious accuracy tomorrow to keep yourself away from the cut line. From the fairway for Jan 2 and into the rough to the right side. Isomi had an eagle here on 16 earlier in the round. She would have needed that with 2 bogeys on the scorecard. All part of her round of 69. The only eagle on any of the par 5s today, we've seen a couple. Chenna Marie had one on 10, holing out in 2, and also another from, speaking of someone who shot a 69 on the day. Kyung Irene with an eagle on just the 2nd hole. It's a momentum builder. Chenna would certainly have no quarrel with a swing like that. Down to her final few holes. Maybe that's the solution to some putting woes. Use your wedges to help you hole out. Still 3 holes to make a move. Sole possession of second is up for grabs for each AM2, even if she can't quite reach 66 on the day. Well, continuing to keep an eye on a name which should be on the second page of the leaderboard. Well, perhaps maybe the third, but that's how many people are tied at 3 under. But it is Pak Bugyam, who is absolutely torrid with only 3 holes of her back 9 completed. She is only 3 back of Chi Han Sol as well. Well, not only was Ichaen too wide of the fairway, she found herself in the sand. She needs to muscle this one out with her third. The yardage remaining was technically under 100, but from that location, of course, she wanted a bit more to get it up and away from trouble. And with the tailwind on top of it, she's found herself long of the green. As we head to 18, putting from the fringe. and nearly coming away with a birdie from off the green. It's a nice effort, a really nice effort from Chanye Song. Day to be proud of, no doubt about that. Finishes with a par. Unbelievable back nine. 4 birdies, 5 in total on the day. Right in the mix at 3 under par. I'm sure she'd love another go around of the front 9 where she found 2 birdies. Same could be said for No Sung-yi, who had 3 birdies in a row, 5, 6, 7, and 8, excuse me. Was able to recover with 5 birdies of her own at the back 9. Chanana finds the green from the fairway towards the back third of it. But relative to some of the putting surfaces we've seen throughout the course of the past 2 hours, it is a bit kinder than some, despite being that far out. Joanne is off to the left of the fairway, so she'll be playing this approach, this wedge shot from the rough. 78 meters, probably playing more like 70 with the wind at her back. Floats it up and doesn't have enough carry to get over the fringe. So she too is away from the green, and that is going to make birdie very, very, very hard to come by. Same can't be said for Kim Soo-ji, who is about to try and join the sea of those tied for 5th, and she's there. Back to back now with only 1 hole to play. Amatassom electing to play a little flop from just above. It's 11 meters down from the fringe. It's right into the embankment and comes up a couple of feet shy. And 10 meters downhill from the tee block to the green here at number 17. Pretty much exactly the center of the depth of this second to last green, and to the left side as well. Only 8 yards off the left, right where it cuts out a little bit. It'll be 7 iron for Imi Jung. Working its way back down onto the line. She's going to get the hop over the ridge, to the delight of the supporters who've been following her around, making noise for basically every shot she's taken, but this one she'll return the smile. It's a great tee shot. Well, it was drawing in perfectly and had enough speed to hop up that little uphill rise in and around where her partner had just played to. And Choyan, after coming up short at 16, she's got some work to do here. 24 meters the remaining distance. Well, it's starting to move back in. Look at this. 1.5 meters away from a par. Instead of 2 meters from Matas home, and she has her par to finish the round. A 69 birdie at the 6th, all pars otherwise. Started the back 9 with a bogey, and then from there, 3 more birdies on the way in. Finishes the day in a tie for 5th position as she heads to the clubhouse. HAN 2 from off the back. A little bit more distance would have been ideal there. An uncharacteristic hole from her relative to everything else we've seen from her nearly through 16 holes today. Was just chasing everything here on 16. Well, this is a long uphill look. 8 meters. From this distance, it only finds pay dirt 17% of the time. And she had the weight where it needed to be, just a little bit too far to the outside. Well, she needs this to save par. Not quite a drastic cut to the right, but it's definitely going to want to get right. She gave herself too much. So she'll mark off and she'll know she's dropping at least a stroke. Now Choayan also a par save to avoid falling back to even. Gets the break right. Well done. So she'll head to 17, which has been conducive of going low. And avoids a mistake. Now she's been after this moment for quite some time, Mimi Jung. Can she finally get her birdie, get to even? Yes, she can. Her first since the 6th hole, and she'll celebrate with her caddies and the patrons who are fired up to see the letter E on the leaderboard beside her name now. She's been chasing it for so long. Par saved, 2 more chances to go, and now she has some company at even par. A disappointing one. Hole she'll want to forget. Her first bogey of the day comes at number 16. Hasn't found any birdies on the par 3s yet today. She's 0 for 3 in the search for birdies. Well, the approach down at number 18. Not quite as much carry as would have been ideal. The shot map, the shot chart of every tee shot here at number 17. The shortest of them all, 129 meters, that found the water. The longest, 174. 3 in the sand over the course of the day, with still a few more groups to come through 17. Chanana, we've been talking about the birdie chase. Her last did come on a par 3, so that is some positivity to work with. Back at number 8. Landed in a decent spot, but it wanted to run towards the back. It's going to take that downslope a few centimeters closer, so an uphill look at birdie. The approach shot for Kim Soo-ji. The pin today at 18, almost in the exact middle of the green. A little backspin to keep it from rolling too far away. About a flag sticks distance remaining between her and a birdie to finish her round on a high. Now Choi on pulls 6-iron out of the bag. It was looking like it was rough bound for a moment, but that's a good kick. Still working its way back down. And the wider the camera zooms out, shows you how much downslope there is and how tricky the putt becomes if you're playing it conservative. If you go right at it, of course, that's your best chance to get the birdie, because if you're short, you're not going to likely have enough to get up the hill, and if you're long, you have that run back down towards the middle to contend with. Here's Ichan 2. Final of the 3 to tee off. She goes to the back left and will roll onto the fringe. Tailwind not doing anyone in this group any favors. Well, it's the shortest par 4 on course at 343 yards, 314 meters, this 18th. %92% on the fairways and regulations on these par 4s and 5s today. She can add one more to that stat. Lines it right into the fairway. Well, she is 6 back now that she has moved to even par. 2 players sharing T2 at the moment. Kim Yan and Ong Jian, the closest to Ji Han-sol, the defending champion, off to another great start at this E1 Charity Open as we celebrate this tournament's 10th anniversary with just about 25 minutes remaining for our featured groups here at South Springs. Putting from the fringe, Yichaeun 2 was always going to be a tough ask to try and find a birdie from that position. As much as she'd like to go back to finish out, I think she'll just be happy to rebound back to safety with a par after the bogey at the last. Chung Yoon-ji, it is 11.1 meters. Downhill putt for birdie. Trying to end the round with one more stroke closer to Jihan Sol. It's a formidable effort from that distance. Slightly offline to the left. And back to 17, Choi Yeon. Narrowly inside of 6 meters. Long swooping left to right. Didn't give herself enough line, but she had a really good look at it. Would have moved her up to tie for 17th, where we find the likes of Ie-won and Park Young-kyung. Now 18, Kim Soo-ji to stay at 3 under. This is a challenging one. The distance and the line, it's left, and I don't think it's going to get back in time. Oh. Came back to be true, but it's short, so a tap-in bogey. That will keep her in that tie for 17th. 2 bogeys in the last 4 holes. Finishes the day with an opening round score of 70. Now, Janana. Just inside of 5.5, maybe 5 meters. Another one that's going to want to get right, excuse me, but a bit too much pace. She got it up the hill and still has a lot of questions about this putter through 17 holes on the day. Look, says it all. What more do I have to do? It's a great day. Round of 69 for Chung Yoon-ji. Just the one bogey on the round, coming back at the 12th. She left a couple strokes out there. A few close calls with the putter, but she is very much in the race. As is Ichan too, but she needs to see this par go, and it does. So she recovers from her bogey at 16, gets her par at 17, and has just 1 hole to play. Par as well for Choi Yeon. It'll be 128 still to go. Wind has calmed down some, but it's a right to left. 82%. Greens in regulation on the day. She's not sure of this. She's going to stay on the green, but back left. And then the zip and the slope will take her off the green. Just stay on, but right bordered on the fringe. And this is the aerial look at number 18. The steep drop off the tee blocks to the right, and then all kinds of sand. Pretty much an entire beach along the right pond. Fairway opens up to the left just before the first water hazard. The final water hazard, excuse me, that's 210 meters from the tee. If you can clear the sand to the right, there is nothing in your way of a proper attack at the pin. Of 5 more bunkers around the green, the rocks and the creek on the right and left respectively, and the waterfall at the end for one final feature. Being a bit long isn't too bad with the middle pin location today and that slope down. .60 meters per second. Ton of velocity even with a wood instead of driver, and she took some club off it and has found herself in trouble, Chanana. That is the last thing she wanted to see. These are all of the tee shots on the day at 18. Not too many misses, only 1 into the left bunker, 3 into that defensive bunker to the right of the fairway, and then 3 players found the water off the tee. Joayan with her average driving distance wouldn't need the dissuasion from Chanana's mishit. She reaches for the big club and she finds the fairway nicely over the sand, and as mentioned, pretty much a straight shot from there at the pin. Well, 2 for 3, and I'll be curious to see what exactly is lying ahead for Chanana in a few minutes when she reaches that ball. Meanwhile, we'll head down to the green. This is the look at birdie from Mimi Jung from the border of the fringe. Well, it's the final stretch in this opening round. 143 competitors vying for the 10th E1 Charity Open title. We had 3 withdrawals on the day, so the field, I guess, is technically slightly smaller than what we could have seen, but it's definitely a packed event. Nahi won one of the 3 to withdraw from the event. Also lost Boon Jung Min, as well as Kim Na-hyun. 11 over, that is the highest score of the day. That is in the books for one of the 2 who are at that mark. Chung Da-hyun was one of them, and still with 2 holes to play, having started on the 10th tee. Was Jung Cho-yoon. Back to 18, as we watched some rounds come to a conclusion. Good attempt for birdie, but it's not to be. It is a round of 72, finishing the day where she started at Amy Jung. And a big collection of players tied for 41st at that even par score. 6 back of the leader, Chi Han-sol. As it currently stands, 13 players tied at 3 under par. And then another 12 tied at 2 under. Well, now we can see the lie for Chanana, and it was just a slice off the tee. You can see it's not all that far from the tee block. She went for the 3-wood and just mishit it, which she doesn't tend to do very often in this circumstance. You can just see the tops of the white caps, the camera crews going down to get a look at it as well. And all the way down to the right side of the bunker, she'll have a scan. What's the best way to play out? Obviously the tree there is not doing her any favors, just to the right where she wants to exit.
라인으로 가야 될 것 같아. 엣지가 150? 한 151?
정확하게는 151이고 핀까지가 173.
A bit treacherous down there, to be quite honest. She'll be looking at the same notes and maps that we are of what is ahead, what is safe. Can I go after it? She tries to reach, which she certainly has the power to get to. Just has to be cognizant of the fact that there's that water to the left and more sand, even if she can stay dry. She goes for the hybrid. It's 151 meters, needs to pick this clean. That didn't sound great off the release, but it's going to get her into the fairway at least. So she gets up, but that'll be frustrating to have such a poor tee shot on the final hole when she is so adamantly searching for the birdie. With Jane, she's going to find the putting surface. That's going to be a decent spot for her as well as she tries to get the birdie, erase the mistake at 16 and resume the fray. 2 back, excuse me, if she does get her birdie. An idyllic approach for Cho Ayan. Up and over, and she's gonna have a hearty bounce that will take her in and around the same location on the green, just a bit further back from each end too. This would have been the shot she would have been hoping to be playing with putter, looking for birdie. Instead, she's got to get up and put herself in a good spot to try and save par, and she's spinning back towards the front side. So not only could she not go under, she might be going over here. Disappointing one. To make matters worse, in this particular moment, she has not putt well today either.
놔두세요 오빠 그냥.
Janana pacing herself from the cup back to her ball, trying to pick out a mark to try and aim for as well to the right for her. That'll be the left side of our screen. Be a miraculous 11.5 meter par save. Otherwise, just getting close. If you're going to drop a stroke, make sure it's just one. Here's the effort from Shanana. And it's pushing away to the right. It comes back at the end. How many close calls has she had on the day? It's disappointing. It will be bogey, a round of 73. Down in a tie for 60th position. Only 2 birdies on the round at 8 and 1, bogeys 3, 4, and now 18. Choyan is slightly further away. She will have the first of 2 looks at birdie. .8 meters uphill with some late break at the end. Well, there's your movement to the right, just not quite enough power. So she will settle for par. She's right to be a little disappointed with this back 9, having 2 birdies at 2 and 8, a bogey at the 10th, and then 7 pars on the way in. Well, that clears the green for each and 2. Six meters between her and 4 under, and a tie for second position after round number 1. That's where it pushes to the right of the end, and it will take a few seconds to line this one up and make sure it is where she wants it to be. She can re-rack and try and get out of this 18th hole with par. Can tell how much pressure she's putting on herself for this putt. Steps out. Her 13th par of the day. An impressive round of 69, out with a 34, in with a 35. And we'll head to the clubhouse with a share of the top 4 positions, the top 4 scores on the round. Cooled off a little bit. She was on such incredible form through the middle of her round, just not quite there at the end. Lost a bit of momentum with that bogeys. We'll take you through the round highlights now from round number 1. We begin where we just left. 18. Well, we jumped the gun a little bit, but it was important to see because she's ever so close. Didn't get much of her round, but with 4 consecutive pars to end the day, that would be part of the 68 carded by Kim Yan. And then, speaking of finishing with a flash, from well down underneath the green on number 9, having started the day on the 10th hole, that is Jae Young with a nice finish. But again, as it was so many times last year, the day of Jian Seoul, this approach, like a magnet, bringing it to an immediate halt. And a nice roll in on number 4 for first birdie of her back 9. Kime Reem, this is a long look at birdie at 7, up over the hill, and hope you're there. She was there. Bottom of the cup, and a fired up caddy. Okay is right. So it's even more than okay. That's a great putt. 3 birdies in a row in this stretch. Some struggles on 14 and 16, dropping a couple of strokes, but that was definitely her most impressive putt of the day. Speaking of impressive putts, 11 meters from the fringe, Jihan Seoul at the 5th. She certainly has this course figured out. 64 in the opening round last season. Couldn't quite get to 64 today. Though her Saturday and Sunday scores, consecutive 67s last year. She did better than that on the day. This was just before we came on the air. Jae 2. A zip and a birdie finish. At that point, 2 birdies in the early stages of her round. Then on 11, this one of the first shots we did catch. Swooping from left to right and down from about 7 meters out. That was birdie number 3. On 13. We're going to lose it in the umbrella, but we know the result. This is going to take her to 4 under par from nearly the back of the green. Excellent putt. Took her to a score that unfortunately she would not be able to hang on to with the bogey that would come at the 16th. But at that moment, still a bogey-free round and 4 birdies through 13 holes. On 15. From 127 meters out and 4 meters beneath the hole. Jung Yoon Ji throwing her hat in the ring, and the exceptional approach categories, there's a big piece of those in these first round highlights. Couple near aces today. This was one of the closest of the bunch on 17. Towards the left front, and it kicks out on line. It would come within about 15 centimeters of an ace. And then a simple finish, reaping the benefits of that fantastic approach. And she was so strong on the back 9, especially. Chanuri. One final look at the leaderboard today. There's some players still out on course, though no one quite on a projected pace to catch Jihan Seoul with her opening round of 66. So now she is led for 4 straight rounds in this 3-hole tournament, if you want to go that way with her win last season. 2 players at 4 under par, and then it gets a little bit more congested. 13 players with rounds of 69, another 12 with 2 underscores. We have 39 golfers under par, and 18 tied at even. So, will anyone be able to keep pace with Chi Han-sol? We will not have to wait very long to find out the answer to that question. Back on the air the same time tomorrow as we were on today when we return to South Springs tomorrow afternoon on Saturday. 4 p.m. local time in Korea is where we will pick our coverage back up. On behalf of our entire SBS Golf crew and everyone here at the LPGA Tour of Korea, I've been Adam Jenkins saying thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow, the 10th anniversary of the E1 Charity Open here on the LPGA Tour of Korea.